Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this short and condense a lot of information into as short of a period as I can. I was explaining all this to someone yesterday and I sent a voice note and it took 10 minutes and I don't want to do that to you, so we're going to do our best to keep it in just a couple of minutes. So if you've kept up with the news or anything really at all, you're probably well aware that the Fed recently dropped the rates by about 50 basis points, which is awesome news. We've all been super excited about that. What's interesting though is, and I've kind of explained this in the last couple of videos, so I don't need to go too deep into it, but market value interest rates move ahead of what the Fed actually does. So when the Fed says we're going to drop rates by 50 basis points, like a couple of months in the future, the market value interest rates will adjust for what they believe the Fed will do as soon as they have that prediction of the Fed's going to do this at this time in the future. And once they have that prediction, they're just going to go ahead and do it right then. So if you've been watching market value interest rates, you'll notice that they're pretty much the same today as they were last week. Give or take a couple, maybe 5 basis points, like pretty much nothing. So that's because the market value rates move ahead of what the Fed actually does. And they were expecting they would generally drop the rates by 50 basis points, and then they did. And so rates have remained pretty much the same since the Fed dropped the interest rates. Market value rates have remained the same. So with that, we already have a pretty good reading on what the market has been doing with the lower interest rates. And it's super interesting because it's not what most people expected, including myself. Pretty much everyone was like, yeah, once rates go down, obviously, like the market's gonna bounce back, demand's gonna shoot up, and it's gonna be like a frenzy again. And we are still expecting that, but we're not expecting it until next year. Because so far, even though rates have gone down, the market hasn't responded the way most people are expecting. And I think there's a few reasons for that. Actually, I have 4 reasons I believe that it is. I'm not gonna go through all of them right now just because this is gonna take so long and I don't want to, have you here sitting for forever. But just to go through a couple reasons briefly. One is the Fed, they adjust rates because of the economy. So they're like, cool, we've made the economy to have enough pain and it's difficult enough that we are ready to drop rates to alleviate some of that pain. So it's nice then because you have lower rates, but it also is difficult because the economy is difficult, and who wants to buy a house when they're in pain because the economy is in pain? So that's one reason. Another reason is we're coming up on the holiday market. This is when the market always starts to slow down. So just by nature of that, things are going to be slower. Another reason is that, first off, rates they're still in the 6s. I think they'll get below 6 next year, which is actually way better than I thought it was going to be next year. I think there's a pretty good chance it actually might get below 6 next year, which would be awesome. But a lot of people still have a 2 to 3% interest rate, which is that's hard to leave. And then the 4th reason is and I don't know how much of a factor this is, but I found a lot of people, how I mentioned before, market value rates move before the Fed actually adjusts their rates, and most people don't know that. That's what I found. And so a lot of people have been waiting until September. They're adjusting the rates. Really, they've been adjusted for a while, at least market value rates have. And so a lot of people haven't realized that, and so it's possible we might get a little uptick in demand right now that it's happened on the Fed's level, and now people it registers in their mind oh, rates are lowered now. So anyways, those are the reasons that I think that it hasn't responded the way that people were expecting. I think coming up on the holidays makes a pretty big impact. So that all said, next year we're actually expecting that in the spring it is gonna bounce back pretty hard, and that it's gonna become a pretty intense seller's market, and a lot of people are gonna be entering the market at the same time. because of increasing demand, just due to seasonality and to rates just being lower. So it'll be really interesting to see how all of that plays out. So if you're wanting to buy or sell, if you're wanting to, like, in the next like 12 months, if you can buy right now, like, this is great time for you. Like, you should buy now. Like, now is in the next like 3 months. Because once you get to spring of next year, it's going to be much more of a seller's market, at least from what we're expecting. As I've stated, like, anyone can always be wrong. Like, no one has a crystal ball. We only have data and estimates. But it's probably going to be a seller's market by spring of next year, and you're probably going to get the best deal during the holiday season this year, like October, November, December. If you're wanting to sell, try not to sell October, November, December. It won't go well for you. If you can wait till spring for next year, it will go so much better for you. So try to do that. Of course, everyone has needs outside of the trends of the market, and trying to time the market. It's because no one knows the future ultimately. It's really a gamble. You can take an educated guess, but you can never really know. So it's always hard to time the market. So, and ultimately everyone has their own needs for wherever they are. So I would recommend, if you just need to move, buy or sell whenever you need to buy or sell, just do it then. And we have strategies to work with every market. Like, if you're needing to sell in the next 3 months during the holiday season, we can do that. It won't be as easy as it otherwise would be. But there's plenty of strategies we have to work with that and make it easier for you and make it possible and simple and as painless as we can. If you need to buy spring of next year instead of during the holiday season, we have great strategies to help you get your offer accepted and for it to go as well for you as possible, despite the market that we're in. So anyways, ultimately your needs come first. So there's ways, even if it's less than ideal, there's ways we can work with it and help implement strategies so that your best interest is able to, come about. So if you're needing to buy or sell in the next 6 months, 12 months, 3 months, wherever it is, let me know, and we'll work on putting together a game plan for you that's customized and tailored to you and your needs. So have a great day. Talk soon.